Build your hours. We're on our last training mission. We're over Tucson. I can see downtown LA from Tucson. We're at 89,000 feet. I can see the whole western United States bathed in a warm October fall glow. I can see the chain of Rocky Mountains from Canada to New Mexico. I could just see the most beautiful picture laid at my feet in this.
Fantastic, Brian. Thank you. And no doubt it was incredibly flat, my dear man, if you were seeing that far.
Ah, Level Earth Observer. I remember the days when it was all just love notes to SciMan Dan. Actually, never mind. That was like yesterday. I'm gonna do to you what Duke Nukem did to that alien at the end of Duke Nukem 3D.
You son of a...
Today we're going to have a quick listen to Major Brian Shaw of the United States Air Force, former SR-71 pilot, retelling a few stories from back in the day, and in doing so Brian is going to absolutely annihilate the globe theory. We're then going to have a look at the globe distance to the horizon calculator, and then we're going to compare the observations that Brian Shaw was seeing, measure the distance, compare it to the distance of the horizon calculator, i.e. the globe mathematics. A big fail, I can tell you. And then we're going to use Google Earth to try and recreate Major Brian Shaw's observation. Testing Google Earth and testing the globe at the same time. And it's a big double whammy fail, I can tell you. As the heights we have to go to recreate Brian Shaw's observations in his SR-71 is ridiculous. But let's have a quick listen to Brian first.
When Walter and I were doing a training mission around the United States where you just were building up hours and time, and we take off out of Beale, hit a tanker in Idaho, rip on up to Montana, zip across Denver, hang a right turn in Albuquerque, out over Los Angeles, up to Seattle, back into Sacramento, 2 hours, 21 minutes. And you just do that then you do it backwards, and you hit a tanker or two. It was just to gain crew coordination, build your hours. We're on our last training mission. We're over Tucson. I can see downtown LA from Tucson. We're at 89,000 feet. I can see the whole western United States bathed in a warm October fall glow. I can see the chain of Rocky Mountains from Canada to New Mexico. I could just see the most beautiful picture laid at my feet in this.
Fantastic, Brian. Thank you. And no doubt it was incredibly flat, my dear man, if you were seeing that far.
So Level Earth Observer here is going to do what he typically does. In fact, he's one of the best people at this. He's going to take these words right out of context. The reality is that this person's telling a story. We all know how that goes. You're up there, you're kind of explaining the story, you're kind of going over the details, and you know, he's saying things like, I'm above Tucson, I can see from here to there. Does that mean that we should be putting a tape measure out and like defining exactly where this man says he was above? Because we're going to get into this at some point. But, you know, when he gets into measuring this, you know, he could be in that plane above Tucson when he like literally starts the beginning of that sentence, and he would have been past Phoenix by the time he was done that sentence. So, you know, when he says like, oh, we're above Tucson, like that's going to be a broad zone. And if he was heading in the right direction and whatnot, but here, we'll let Level Earth Observer get into what Level Earth Observer gets into first, and then we'll have something to talk about here.
Fantastic, Brian. Thank you. And no doubt it was incredibly flat, my dear man, if you were seeing that far. So Brian, at 89,000 feet, was seeing the whole western side of the United States. He was 89,000 feet above Tucson. He could see the whole of the western side of the United States. He could see downtown LA. He could see the Rocky Mountains in Canada coming all the way down to New Mexico. Incredible. Let's just have a look on a map just to give you some idea. 2 secs.
Did he actually say that, or are you putting words in his mouth? Let's listen. Let's actually listen. Did he actually say that? Did he say he could see the mountains into Canada?
We're at 89,000 feet. I can see the whole western United States bathed in a warm October fall glow. I can see the chain of Rocky Mountains from Canada to New Mexico.
So here's a map of the western United States. Tucson is right at the bottom there, below Felix. And of course our pilot Brian was 89,000 feet above Tucson. And strangely enough, he was seeing the whole of the United States. Not only that, he was seeing the Rockies come down from Canada all the way down to New Mexico. You kind of gave the game away there, Brian, as we're about to see. Okay, over at the distance to the horizon calculator. Observer height 89,000 feet. Calculate the distance. We get a distance to the horizon of 365.9 miles. Already, anyone who looked at that map just now can see there's an obvious problem. Right, let's get some idea of distance here. I'm going to be quite kind to the globe believers. I'm not going to measure all the way to the Rockies inside of Canada. I'm going to measure to the border. Just to be fair here, I don't want to crush your globe too much. So to give us some idea, distance, let's say approximately 1,100 miles to the Rockies on the US-Canadian border, okay? It's actually a lot further. If I was to include the whole Rockies, we'd be looking in the region of 1,500 miles. But we'll give the Globies a sort of fighting chance here. Not that their reality is real whatsoever, it's pantomime, as we've just seen. So we've got that, 1,100 miles.
I'm going to end up doubling back to how Level Earth Observer interprets information when somebody delivers it as a story. He must be a terrible person to try to tell a story to. But beyond that, basically what we need to go over how fast an SR-71 goes, because Level Earth Observer is not taking into account a few factors involved here, like the fact that that thing has like moved to another state by the time the guy scratches his testicles. So let's talk about that. I want to try to show you guys something. So I've got like this new tool. You know, I've been hanging out with FTFE. SciMan Dan's guys have been giving him some new technology, so I've been allowed to incorporate a little bit of that. I'm supposed to just press this button, and I can kind of like, well, I'm gonna show you like a map and like kind of go over this with you, almost weatherman style. And I just need to press this button. So let's try it out, shouldn't we? Yeah. Just do it. Like just. All right, here goes. It's not working. Oh, here we go. Ha! Yeah, it's working. There we go. Hey. Hey, what do you think? Do you think I should check first? Do you think I should take a look and see what's in? Let's just poke my head in first, okay? Ow. Oh my god. Okay, well, it's just like a portal on the other side. I'm just gonna give her a shot. We're gonna go through. We're just gonna see how this goes, okay? Let's find out. You know, like just. Oh shit! Oh my god! I don't know if I like that technology. I've got to talk to somebody. It's that can't be right. It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. Oh, neat. Cool. Cool. Hey, how's it going? Hey, so listen, what I was gonna say is we got Tucson over here, we got Seattle over here, and if he's moving from here to along over here, by time he tells you the story, he could start the story over Tucson. By time he starts that story over Tucson and he moves his ass all the way back over here, he'd be like over Colorado by the time he scratches his testicles. This thing is going 3,500 kilometers an hour. That's a half-hour trip. Oh wait, I've always wanted to do this.
373 kilometers up, and I still can't see Canada. That's behind the ball. But strangely enough, the SR-71 pilot could see all this and more from 89,000 feet. But according to Google Earth, I have to literally go into space. At the moment, I'm 373 kilometers up, and I still can't see what the SR-71 pilot could see.
I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do while we have this flat earth Hardy boy on the case, sleuthing out every clue from every goddamn conversation. Can you imagine waiting for somebody on the court, like this asshole? It's gonna be like, where were you? You said you could see McDonald's from where you were. It's like, I can't, it's at the top of the hill. I need GPS coordinates of where you were. The reality is that this guy was telling a story, and that distance, he will do that entire distance, one leg, 30 minutes. So when a guy says, oh, I can see the shoreline sweeping along the mountains, the mountain chain from Canada. By the way, he doesn't say into Canada, dick face. He says from Canada all the way to New Mexico. I mean, in 1 minute, like in 5 minutes, let's say, while he's watching out the window and he's looking at Los Angeles, he's like watching Los Angeles go like this. Like, he's going so fast. That was why he mentioned 2.5 hour round trip, and everybody would,
Walter and I were doing a training mission around the United States where you just were building up hours and time. And we take off out of Beale, hit a tanker in Idaho, rip on up to Montana, zip across Denver, hang a right turn in Albuquerque, out over Los Angeles, up to Seattle, back into Sacramento, 2 hours, 21 minutes. And you just do
laughing because he was making a joke about how fast the airplane was. Oh, you know, only flying, you know, basically like a round trip around America, you know, the western side of America in like 2.5 hours is no big deal, you know. You know, because they're laughing about how ridiculous it is that he can go that far that fast. Oh, flat earthers, what are we going to do with you? I mean, he's going to come back now with the, if this is all the globe has, it's been destroyed. He doesn't come back with anything. There's nothing to come back with. This is all you're getting from me. You're going to have to deal with it. You're not worth the extra time because your arguments are garbage. And if all you have is a conversation from somebody in a room full of people when he's, oh, sorry. Let's stop it and we'll rewind the conversation. He's just going to spend a whole hour in there just explaining to them exactly where he was every little bit. Well, I mean, I couldn't actually see all the way, but like 5 minutes later, I could pretty much see like half. You know, are we really living in this goddamn world? What kind of parties are you at? I think that's going to have to be it for me today. Now, keep an eye out for my other vids coming out, and there's a collab coming out sometime very shortly with FTFE, so keep your eyes on that. You're also going to have to take a look at my last video, little political. YouTube crushed the shit out of it, straight up heel stomped that thing right into the dirt. So give it some love. Maybe it can, you know, you never know, make more than 600 or 700 views, which is... Thanks, YouTube. I really appreciate you just taking my like 15 hours of work and throwing it in the toilet. But anyways, also check out Level Earth Observer's channel in the next few days because I imagine he's going to post some really well-edited video, editing a little chunk of this and going, is this all the globe has? With that basically next to Daniel Pratt level smoker's voice and laugh. So... anyways, tune in for that. Thank you everybody for coming today. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you're not. Maybe think about joining the channel. And we'll see you next week. Good night.